So what's really happening right now is Indonesia is sinking. If you've been following ZetaTalk, and I consider ZetaTalk the greatest body of knowledge that, I've read all 14,000 readings from Edgar Cayce. My father met Edgar Cayce, was a member of the ARE, donated money to it, was very involved with the whole thing. So I grew up with all the material in our house, and my father and I love to discuss this stuff. So, but in these 15 years, going on 16, that Nancy has been in telepathic contact with the Zetas and been asked questions by the public and written down the answers and published them for free on the internet. In my opinion, this is the greatest body of knowledge. It's like a gift to the world that you can't believe. And I know it's easy for people to put it down and say, well, there couldn't possibly be extraterrestrials, there couldn't possibly be a woman in Wisconsin who's in touch with them. It's not possible that this could be true, but I'm telling you it is. And just like we're about to have pole shift and the government hasn't told you, there's a lot of things that you were never taught in school. And that's why I'm glad to be here and tell you it's all true. I have had so many experiences that they're just innumerable. And I want to say that it's absolutely true. There are higher beings on other dimensions, other planes, in bodies and out of bodies, who want to contact you. And there's a veil between you and them, and that's how come you can't normally do it. And the answer to how this is possible is a rule, and the rule is you have to ask for contact. And that's what I did. And I want to tell you that I was successful, and I still am successful. And Janet's the same way. When she was a child, she used to look at comic books with little flying saucers on the back and say, that's what I want to do. I want to go to other planets. I want to meet people from other planets. And no matter how you put it, you have to put it. You have to say, I want contact. Excuse me. So, the thing is that I'm not special, and in a sense Nancy isn't special either for doing that, because we are about to have pole shift, and this has attracted extraterrestrials from around the universe who are here now. So maybe if you wanted to do this 1,000 years ago, that would have been pretty unusual. These days, any one of the listeners of the Micro Effect Network can contact extraterrestrials. It might not be that you call them in and a ship lands in your yard and they knock on your door and say, we're here. But it's different for each person. Now, I've arranged my life where I talked about it all the time. I worked for myself. I've had lots of hardship and skeptics and people who didn't believe me, and at the same time I've had the great fortune to meet plenty of people who do understand what I'm saying and have tried it and have had experiences. So the thing I'm trying to say is that because of what the world is about to go through now, you're going to need extra help. And you can get it by asking extraterrestrials for assistance, for guidance, and for inspiration, and for healing, and there's no telling what they're going to do for you. The thing is like attracts like. So if you're a selfish person and you make the call, you're only going to meet selfish extraterrestrials, because it's the good, the bad, and the ugly down here on Earth and up there in space. So like attracts like. If you are an unselfish person, of course unselfish extraterrestrials are going to want to meet you. You know, some of the most selfish people in the universe are not extraterrestrials. They're humans walking around on the Earth. And you've noticed that anytime something really good starts to happen, somebody selfish comes along and tries to screw it up. And that's the freedom that we have on this third dimension. But there's been a lot of talk like, would you like to become an ascended master? Would you like to ascend to the next level? And the doorway to the next level is right in front of your face. It's like an Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes book, it's hidden in plain sight. The door is to make a conscious choice to be unselfish. And I don't mean that you have to be a saint. I don't mean that you have to be perfect. All I mean is that you think about other people at least 51% of the time. Now, through meditation, I've been able to see auras, and I can see light around people. And extraterrestrials looking at planet Earth see a dark planet surrounded by clouds of greed and violence, and there, walking here and there, are little candles in the darkness. So people that have already made that choice are actually have brighter auras and are easy to spot. They've been pre-identified, and it isn't that they selected who is capable of receiving help from unselfish extraterrestrials. You've selected yourself, and that's the important thing. By making a choice, you're the one who is able to do this. And there are people who are in much better contact, and I have met some of them, and I've admired others from a distance. I'm very pleased to say that I've gotten to know Nancy somewhat, and she is really a very sweet dear. And people who think that she's doing this for some sort of economic benefit, or that I might be, that's absolutely ridiculous. I've had people say, well, I know why you're into UFOs, it's for the money. And I'm thinking, you got to be kidding. And I've spent so much time in my life on this subject, and in meditating and thinking and contacting and receiving inspiration. You can't take those hours and get them back. There's no way to convert them into cash. So this is something that if you have that interest, you know, the only things you're ever going to be happy at are the things you're interested in. So I don't know what job you've got right now. I don't know what your dreams were for your whole life, your goals and your aspirations. But this is a time, right now, before pole shift, before we go back to the year 1825, this is a time to be thinking, you know, was I right? Were the choices I made the important ones? Did I choose people over possessions, or have I spent a lifetime choosing possessions over people? So these are the things I wanted to share in terms of my background, because frankly, I don't think I did anything that anyone else couldn't do as well or better who's listening to me right now. And I'm sure that a lot of you have done. I was very interested when I was on Coast to Coast with George Norrie on the night of November 18th to the 19th. In the third hour, all the calls were from people who had recently begun contact with Zetas. So I know people are doing this, and I'm telling you right now, you can do it. This is a very interesting, you know, people talk about a new movie or a new place to visit or a new restaurant to eat at. How about a new experience that I'm telling you is possible? How about trying to contact people from other planets? All you have to do is give your permission, and you can be specific. You can say, look, I only want to meet the unselfish ones. And if that's what you're like, you'll be able to do it. Really, you don't want to meet the selfish ones, because they're going to lie to you, they're going to deceive you, they're going to mislead you, and they're going to be all about power and control and wealth and impressions and status, and you don't need that.